at the Fredericton Regionals. He's not first this time, but you did get third place. Yeah. So we take those. Yeah, any shout outs you want to give today?
Shout out to the Comic Hunter and Fredericton, the guys who ran the event today. They did a really hard work, and we actually had a pretty smooth event.
It was very smooth, yeah.
It wasn't too bad. Yeah, shout out to East Coast Games. He hooked me up with the last second Dabl, so definitely helped out a lot. You guys are great. And no, that's about it for shoutouts.
Yeah, I guess, you know, he's playing Bystial Dlink. I know people were excited for this. I was excited for it. So,
no, Bystial Dlink, it's the new way to play Dlink. It's the only way to play Dlink. So we'll get right into it. So we'll start with the Bystial engine. So we got 2 Lubellion, 3 Magmut, 2 Worm, the Sarnier, and then the Spell and Trap alike. I'll just do it in engines. So these cards are all crazy. Lubellion is a searcher, and a free summon.
Yeah.
So he has 3 extremely powerful effects. Plays around Dweller naturally too, because he doesn't activate in the graveyard. That came up today once. Mystic Magma is the new best hand trap in the format against Dark and Light decks. This card basically just reads, interrupt your opponent, make a body for yourself, and search any dragon starter, any dragon extender in your end phase. It makes it so free just to like line up what exactly you'll need. Like you can search Safer, you can search Lubellion, which searches any of the 3 names. It's so crazy. You want to see him in all of your starting hands, and playing Lubellion too, you're able to search him with a lot of different things in the deck.
Would you play 3 of this?
Not a chance. Not a chance. It's not worth it. Yeah, he is good, of course. You want to see him in your starting hand. He's one of the strongest things to see. But he's searchable off of Chaos Space. He's searchable off Ravine. He's searchable off Safer. Like you don't need to play more than.
He's a light.
He's a light monster. Yep. No, he's crazy. So Chaos Space get rid of the dark monsters really comes up a lot. So you don't want to play more than 3 or more than 2 because he just kind of does nothing after a bit, and you want to be able to search other things instead. So I think 2 is the perfect amount. You always get access to him. And then of course these are just like Worm's like the hand trap of the bunch. So once you're going for full combo, Magmut and end phase will happen to search, and you'll usually search the Druid Worm because it pairs well with the Branded Beast. Basically just Dragonlink's Chuche. For whatever reason, we got a Chuche.
Yeah.
So this is my main deck out to mine. This is like helps in the grind state. You could out problem cards with the double send that these 2 create. So it turns this card into 3 interruptions using this. Like it's really crazy powerful. And Sarnier comes up in pitch situations. Today I even Ravine sent him to send Lubellion because I needed a level 6 dragon to summon back with Pisti to then make like, yeah, it really comes up. And then Branded Regain is literally just Chaos Space on legs. So it's just constant advantage, and if you can get to this on your end board, you're in such a strong state. So yeah, these are the Bystials. They're definitely meta staples, not just in Dragon Link, but just in general. They can be really good. But
yeah,
I personally think that Dragon Link is the best deck at utilizing all the new cards by far. Like the branded build's pretty good too, but I don't know. And then we're gonna go into the Rockets now. So we got the 3 quick launch, and then we're back down to True Tracer. So I'm gonna go against what I said in the last video I was in. Don't play 3 Tracer. You don't need it. Tracer is just an extender now. It's not the main focus of the deck anymore, and you really just want to only go for it if you've already set up your Bystials or they're bad in the matchup. So like Flunderies, that's about it. I never even played Flunder today. And then the targets for Tracer, we got the 1 Recharger and the 1 Silver Rocket. We cut the Rocket Synchron. So Rocket Synchron was really good before because 1, Dragon Link just didn't have that many avenues of follow-up other than seals and like being able to search Rocket Synchron sometimes. And 2, you used to be able to make Hot Red. So Hot Red made the card good. But now you can't make Hot Red because you don't play Chaos Ruler anymore.
R.I.P.
Yeah, really though. When I started testing with this deck, I played with the Chaos Ruler. Way better, but still, getting the extra level 4 in deck is really useful because if you end up opening your Recharger before, you'd have to summon a Rocket Synchron off the Tracer effect, and that's shit. Like, it's no good. Like, you want to have a level 4 in deck to summon off of, and you need at least 2 names to summon with Tracer because there's a strong chance you'll use Tracer more than once in the game, right? It's just the way it is. And then the 1 Abzerrouter to search.
Yeah,
the search Tracer, that's all it does. You only need to search Tracer once because you're going through Pisti so much more with this version of the deck. So yeah, I find that's pretty good ratios for the Rockets. You don't want too much because they're just extenders now. So then we're going to go to the Chaos package stuff. So the best normal summon in the deck is Safer now. Seyfried used to be kind of scuffed from Dragon Link back when you were playing the adventure cards. You wouldn't really want to play him at all. But now, since you're playing Lubellion, Lubellion's actually a target for the Seyfried add back and graveyard effect. So not just Levianeer anymore, you can play Seyfried to add it back. So you can go like Ravine to send the Lubellion, get this into the graveyard too by just opening it, obviously, and then they can pair each other to get Lubellion effect to search, and that's extremely powerful. And it can search any dragon in the game. There's lots of different combinations of Seyfried enables, and he's just such a pivotal point. You can do everything if you want him to. And then Seyfried, but a spell form and better, we'll go Chaos Space.
No need explanation for this card.
This card's crazy. It's a +5 when you activate it. Then the two of the targets for Chaos Space and the last one here. So there's 4 targets in the deck now, and then it's these 2 and then the Lubellion as well. So these are the 4 targets for Chaos Space now. And a lot of problems have been solved with the deck with the sense of you wouldn't have the proper Chaos Space targets going into games, and you would draw awkward hands where you already had the light target search, and now you always have a light target search in the sense of you play 3 light target searches and you play the 2 blacks.
Yeah.
So it just helps the deck and Chaos Space not brick as much, because I've had in the past where I've opened all 3 of these and this wasn't in the game yet, and then you don't do anything.
Chaos Space and pray.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's the whole Chaos engine of the deck. Really good. Levy performed amazing as usual. I hand ripped my opponent in the top cut games and really put him downhill. The hand rip effect is crazy. And then the last cards are for the main deck. Engine cards are the fill cards. So we got Red MD and Nocto. Nocto's just a generic center for the deck. He's really good to draw, but you don't want to play too many of them because he just doesn't do anything by himself. And he's only in the deck really for the fact that you can Seyfried send the Abs router sometimes. And then you can go Seyfried send Abs, search this, Abs will search a Rokket, and that's a really strong line to have. And then the Red MD is in the deck for 2 reasons. If you get nibbed while you have seals on board, this is your main target to bring out from deck.
Crazy.
Yep. And then also if you get to King Atum, you're summoning out of the deck. This is your second best summon. Your first best is usually Avsrouter. So sometimes you already go through Avsrouter, you don't need a Tracer search. So you summon this instead, you get an extra body, and then you can tribute this off for the Lubellion effect to bring himself out, and then you can get the branded stuff for the Bystial stuff going properly. And then 3 spells to end it off. We got the Ravine and Boot, their engine requirements. The deck just runs through them. And then Called By, because it's still a broken card and won me a game today.
Yeah, you need that card.
Yeah, I Called By on a Kikalos after you Sully sent it on my own turn. So it just really strong. And then last things in the deck, we got hand traps, we got the 3 Veiler, we got 3 Nib, and we got 3 Gamma, and then the driver that goes with it. It's nice being able to play the 9 hand traps.
Is it 40 cards?
It's 42.
42.
So I'm cheating a little bit, but 42 is fine with this deck. We tend not to brick. I only bricked really once today, and that did end up losing me that game, but it was the only game that I did lose today. So every other hand that I played, I opened up double hand trap and full combo. So like it was exactly what I wanted the deck to be able to do. I do like the Gammas and the Veilers. The Nibirus were kind of weak today. I sent it off Chaos Space a lot, because a lot of people weren't playing into Nib, or they were playing around Nib.
Yeah.
So, like, Sprite players can play around Nib extremely easily by going into Gigantic early.
so quickly.
But if you go, like, Sprint, up Angler, Summon, like, sometimes you can catch them off guard on the Summon, but just never came up with that. I never even played Sprite today, which I was surprised.
I played Sprite like 3 times, bro.
Oh, you know, someone won. Anyways, that was the whole main deck. Any questions about that? Or?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. I'd like the, I think the 2 Lubellion's interesting. You know, we're still testing if these I was correct, and what's it called? That little Brotar. No Brotar, eh?
No Brotar. Why would you play Brotar when Magmut's Brotar effect without a discard?
There we go.
That's the logic. You're still summoning out Magmut every time almost, unless you're already summoned it that turn with the Brand of Regain. Let's go into the extra deck then.
Sounds good to me.
Sure. So we'll play the Link ones here. We got the Striker Dragon and the Pisti. Obviously, Striker Dragon is the heart and soul of the deck. Most of the time, you just need to be able to establish a Link 1, make the Link 2 into Romulus or Seals, and then with the Bystial stuff, that's all you really need to actually play the game. And you're not playing into stuff like Super Poly and Dark Ruler's hard anymore, which you can play into it very hard like I did in my games, but still. Very important cards to the deck. You go through Pisti so much now in this current version of the deck because you want to go through other combos I'll show in a moment. Then the other non-dark Link 2s, we have Seals and Romulus. Romulus obviously is like a heart and soul of the deck. I'll give you a hot tip for everybody. Hitting Romulus effect to search is extremely strong right now versus Dragon Link. So yeah, because Ravine lets you see everything in the deck, and you need to be able to see all your engines to play effectively. And Seals is the best interruption ever created.
Would you consider playing 2 of these?
I actually really would consider playing 2 of them, but the card that I would cut for Seals came up very, very big today, and I'll show him off near the end of the extra deck here. So he is a card that I consider playing 2, but I tend to be able to shuffle him back using Regained effect or Chaos Space, and then when he's back in extra deck, like you're playing 2, right?
Yeah.
So, and then we'll go for the Dark Link 2s now. We got Quad Whirl, arrows for Pisti, and also the effect pairs really well with Dlink. So if you get Tracer on board with any other dragon, you can go Tracer, summon out the 3rd dragon, and you can make Quad Whirl and Pisti. Pisti bring back a Dark Dragon, make Dlink, and then this guy target Dlink to destroy him, will bring back 2 rockets from graveyard. He'll bring himself back, and now you have a Link 5 and Savage Dragon with just Tracer plus a random body, right? So that's the line that I was talking about with Pisti. You go through Pisti a lot more just to be able to do that line specifically, because then you're ending on Seals, Borland, and Savage, which is extremely potent. Dark, one of the probably other than like Elf and Sprint, probably the strongest Link 2 in the game.
Agreed.
Like,
that's why we got it last.
Yeah. I think if you can play this card, you should be playing this card. Triple Burst, engine requirement, works with the Pisti to set up the arrows. You can go like Pisti Link 1, make this over in the EMC, and now Pisti and Triple Burst are pointing to the same zone. That's how you do it. And Pisti locks you into Dragon, so you need to play this guy specifically. And he comes in against Strikers, but Strikers is the dead deck now. This is not in order. Oh well. We also play the IP as well. IP, strong interruption in game states where you get stopped, but you can still make something with it. So sometimes theoretically you can end on Steel's IP, which is fine, but it's just another option. Also, if you get full combos, so if you get Chaos Space plus Quick Launch with a Chaos Space discard, you can get IP on the board in the end board, and that's really nice because you can set up the co-link with the Borland. So when you summon the Unicorn off of it, you get the extra draw as well, which is more follow-up.
That's pretty crazy, yeah.
And then also, of course, we got the Link 4 access code ends games. I did a couple games today with access code. Obviously, nothing much to say about that. And then Borland Dragon. Borland Dragon is a crazy card. He is extremely hard to out for most decks. Most decks don't have a main deck out to the card. Tier Element does not have a main deck out to the card normally. Celiac is their best option, but yet that is a lot harder to pull off than like Sprite using Smashers or whatever. But other than those 2 cards, like the decks don't really have much else, so you could just play around both of them by using Savage Negate. So if you have established these 2 to the board, it's pretty much super poly or they lose. And then the card that won me the last game today in round 6, Scarlet, Tier Element. They ended up messing up their combo, and they only ended on Celiac plus Cacao on board. And I ended up having the call by, so when he Celiac'd me, he negated, I think it was a Unicorn to spin back the Celiac because I knew it was Celiac. And he negated it just so he can send the Cacao for the mill 5. I hit that with the call by. Time happened, and then I was able just to make this with a Tracer Boot because it's a Synchro 8 Dark Dragon.
Yeah, crazy.
It's just extremely easy to make it just a Savage. And then Burn Effect, break the Cacao that he had. That's game. He could make a fusion, but it wouldn't really matter at that point, right? It was in time. So it came up today in time, and I was considering playing. This could be the second Seals, or this could be the Tenny Synchro monster. The one, the quick effect banish, right? That it could also be that because sometimes you gamble on your own turn and you want to just make something first. But yeah. And then the last card in the extra deck was King Atum.
Necessary.
Sort of. Like he's really strong. And if you can establish Bystials to the board, so a lot of times you actually go through a Tum going second, which is funny enough. because Bystials will already be established to the board going second, because you'll hand trap your opponent. Like, you want to magma, you want to do all that stuff. So if you can go through this, you can use this card to bring out the Abzerrouter or the Red MD, which are the two main targets that I usually go for, because they're tributes for the Lubellion and Grave that ends up being there most of the time. And also, like, it's just free material to like get into Seals and Romulus before you're committing to dark locking yourself with Tracer.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So he was really good today. I made him like once in almost all my duels, and of course he kicked ass. And then we'll finish off with the side deck.
Yeah.
So side deck was kind of awkward here with the first two. So 2 Bell, 2 Ash. I didn't want to play too many Bell. I don't like this card at 3 because I hate drawing more than one of it, even though it is good against Bystials and Tier Element. That was the thought process behind it. It's something deciding against people that are playing those cards. I'd honestly consider playing 3 though after playing today.
Yeah, it's a good card.
It's a really good card. And the Ash was just the flex. I had 2 slots left in the extra deck, and I wanted to not lose to weird rogue matchups like Marincess or Flundries, because we do struggle versus those decks. Well, Flundries obviously because they don't go to the grave, and non-dark and light decks are a struggle for Bystials to play through. And then Imperm, this almost went in every single time I went second. This is better than Nibiru. I probably would have played this over the Nibiru in the main deck, and maybe make the Nibiru's Drolls or something. And then the last strap, going first side is Anti-Spell. I say my worst matchup in meta right now is probably Runic Sprite. That deck is really terrifying for me, and is very tough for me to deal with. So being able to just say no to the deck is pretty good sometimes. And also, you don't hurt yourself too bad usually, because Tracer can just pop it and
Summon a monster, yeah. Makes sense to me.
Then you're not spell locked. It actually happened today where exactly that happened, where I had them under anti-spell. They ended up setting 3 cards. And then it went back to me. I Tracer popped my own anti-spell, and I had drawn an anti-spell for turn. So I basically just set anti-spell and reactivated anti-spell.
That's pretty dirty.
Yeah, it was good. And I lost that game. So good job. And then 3 Lightning Storm and 2 Cosmic, because I respect back row.
Makes sense.
I never sided. I sided the Cosmic Sim at one point, but I never sided the Lightning Storms in. I was scared of Mystic Mine in a matchup versus a player that I thought would be on Mystic Mine.
Bro, there's a player that played pure Mystic Mine.
Yeah, and he got, what, 10th or 9th?
Yeah, he was pretty close.
Yeah, he was close. I was the one who convinced him to keep playing.
Oh.
But yeah, Lightning Storm's really good in theory, but I never sided it today, but I still probably would play it next time.
Well, congratulations on the top, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Oh yeah, you will. I'll see you in Halifax.
Thanks, bro.